All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Snap, Tackle, and Talk, where we're not making anywhere near what JSN just signed. But hey, after we drop some knowledge on you, maybe you can.
Kick it off, break it down, they're calling the play. Good or wrong debates, keep the night from the day. Some rise, some fall, on the charts they fall. But we'll keep tuning in to Snap, Tackle, and Talk.
I don't even know why we
enough,
have an intro scene. You should just do the whole intro scene by mouth.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't. I like to give all the other credit for whatever produces that, whatever AI program I use. But no, I don't want to give everybody false expectation to hear these golden pipes every episode. I'm kind of like who I've come to really love in the old age in life, John? Jack Black.
Oh, yeah.
Jack Black
always
is
liked
just
Jack Black.
absolute. I've always liked Jack Black, but he's like a national treasure now. When he's young, he's very vulgar, Tenacious D. Most of their songs are extremely vulgar.
Oh, yeah.
But now he's just like, Kung Fu Panda and, doing covers of Britney Spears and the Monkees and all kinds of other stuff. But
that's way better than Britney Spears version too.
Oh no, it is. I really like Jack Black version. But
that actually isn't just Jack Black. That cover is Tenacious D.
Oh, it is. You're correct.
Yeah.
I played the music video, my meeting for the salespeople. Each of the managers gives a meeting and we rotate in and out. But I used that for my last meeting and brought everybody in to One More Time by Tenacious D. So, a lot of people are like, I didn't even know that was Jack Black. He looked so different than what he used to. I was like, yeah, he got old. He's
got a big fluffy beard.
Yeah, like a panda. John, we've had a crazy week, kind of a little more quieter week in football, but there was some crazy stuff going on, not necessarily for the NFL, but how has your week been?
Can't complain so far. Last weekend was very good. My son had a travel ball tournament. We went down to Harrodsburg and played. Our coach was hesitant to put us in because the competition was so stiff. He didn't want to ruin our confidence because we're just getting back out in the dirt. We've been playing on turf all winter. But we went out there and we played two teams that were some of the highest ranked teams in the state at our age range. We beat one of the teams 22-8. We went to the championship and lost to the number one team by 1 point. Still got them a runners-up ring, though. It was pretty nice, but I enjoy those days, just out on the field all day. You can't tell now because it's looking better, but I got toasted, man. My head was burnt so bad. It was awful. Like I was having to stand up against the dugout in the shade just to get the sun off of my head. But it didn't stop me though.
So now do you got are you wearing the ring? Like, did you take it from him and be like, no, you can't have that. It's got like 18 diamonds in it or
no, they do. They are blingy. But no, I added it to his shelf with his other rings. He's getting in a collection now.
Oh, nice. How many does he got? Can he deck out one hand yet?
I think he's got 5 right now.
There you go.
Some are champion, some are runner-up, but those are the only 2 positions you get rings for. If you don't get runner-up, at least you don't get a ring.
I wanted to do a ring for last year's fantasy, football fantasy league, and everybody vetoed it, which I was very shocked because I was like, a ring's a little more subtle. You can actually wear. Everybody likes the belt.
You want to hear something hilarious? You said option 1 or 2 or something like that. And I meant to do the ring, but then later I found out that I actually put the belt on there, but I actually meant to do the ring.
Oh, I definitely thought the ring, it'd be cool to wear. You can't really wear a wrestling championship belt everywhere, but I'll tell you what, Alex has it displayed on his desk, and it's a really good looking belt. I gotta say, I was kind of jealous putting this one away.
Next time, I'll win the belt, and I'll send you a picture. I'll be in a bubble bath with the belt on.
Oh, and one person just dropped out of live chat. No, We want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. Please make sure that you're active in the live chat. Let us know if you enjoy what we're talking about, or if you just have some off the wall question. The important thing is you're not just watching, you're participating in the show, asking us questions. It's way more fun when we get to engage with you all than just me and John bantering back and forth. We are Collinless. That's very hard to say, but I've had to say it a lot. We are Collinless tonight. Colin is on his way back from California on a business trip and would not be able to make it till 10:30. So I doubt he'll be popping in, but hopefully next week we're all three together and we will be able to have a complete show. We got a few formatting changes that are going to be coming to you, a couple new games, but a little more way to get it interactive here on Snap, Tackle, and Talk. So we're excited to work through that this summer in a build up to our third official NFL season. Kickoff for the UFL begins Friday night at 7:30 in Louisville, Kentucky, where the Birmingham Stallions will be taking on the Louisville Kings. The Louisville Kings will be having a green out this Friday night. So if you're in the area, get tickets. They're going fast. Make sure you go out there and cheer on preferably the Kings, since that is our home team. But if you're a Stallions fan, man, just get out there and praise some good football. I'm super excited that my son will be going to the game. My daughter has a play on Friday night, and you purchase season tickets before they release dates. Gamble there, but she has a play on Friday night, so we're going to be there helping out backstage with the local elementary school. So my son is going to take his wife and a couple friends and go see a really good game, and I will let you know once I get to go. But stay tuned to Snap, Tackle, and Talk, Facebook, YouTube, things like that, because I did require that he's going to have to get some pictures and footage of the entrances and thing. Benny Snell's playing, so Snell, we get some.
Hell yeah!
It's going to be a lot of fun. NFL news, though. Oh wait, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Follow us on Facebook. Join our Facebook group where John is very active in keeping the conversation going there. So that way you get more of us in your face, in your ears, on your feed, because you want some Snap, Tackle, and Talk. John, somebody signed a big ass contract this week, and it is the highest paid wide receiver in NFL history. Hopefully you got the deets and can break it down for us.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked. So JSN, highest paid receiver in the NFL per year, $42.15 mil. It says 168.6 mil for 4 years. So the 42.15, I guess, is just on a yearly basis, but it was 168.6 million for 4 years. That's crazy.
Good job.
That puts him on top of Jamar Chase, Jetta, CeeDee Lamb, DK Metcalf, who probably shouldn't be on this list, Garrett Wilson, who probably shouldn't be on that list either, but he is now sitting at the very top as the highest paid receiver in the NFL. It's impressive. That's what a good season gets you.
Absolutely, and deserves it. And if you were going to pick anybody off that team that deserved that contract, let's all be honest, outside of the defense, it was him.
Yeah,
I think everybody else in Seattle's a little more interchangeable. I don't know that he is, so good for him.
Yep, he's a big part of that offense.
All right, Rick. I'll bite. A small box has 8 pencils. An extra large box has 76 pencils, more than the small box. Hold on. Let me use my calculator here.
So 84? Is that the answer?
How many pencils are in the extra?
Or wait, no, that's minus. Never mind. I was adding. So
No,
68.
84 would be, wait. Small box. Yeah, 84.
Oh, yeah. I was right the first time. Yes. Boom.
Oh, the bad part is, Rick, I had to bust out my handy dandy calculator in order to do the math, which is sad.
Hey, if they had a show Are You Smarter Than a Second Grader, I'd be crushing it right now.
You would be. You would be.
Uh,
Oh, Rick, thanks for joining us tonight. Appreciate the support.
Triple R.
So if you don't know, check out Rick's Random Reviews on YouTube and give him a like and a follow over there. Great guy, great content, and he keeps it pumping out with good stuff. So we move on from the highest paid. Let me ask you that: was this the right piece for Seattle? I know Seattle, a lot of people looked at and said, hey, you're not paying a lot of your players. How has Seattle's offseason went so far after the signing?
It's a mixed bag because I think when people initially look at what Seattle's done, they actually think they've taken a step back. I don't necessarily see it that way, though. They locked down some big pieces. Let's be real. I know he was MVP and all, but, that the running back position wasn't – I don't think it was all the running back. You know what I mean? I think they can put somebody else there and have similar success. Not saying he's a scrub. I'm just saying that I think they can have similar success with somebody else. They locked down the big thing at number one receiver. Darnold worked out for him. Well, keep going with it, until you have to change. And really, the biggest thing is their departures on defense, I think. But I'm telling you, McDonald is a guru. He will find players, probably players that wouldn't be on other teams, and he will make them into a Super Bowl caliber defense. That's just how good he is. He's a great defensive mind, and I have no doubt that whoever he finds to put on that team is going to be an excellent defense.
I agree with that. I thought the loss at running back was pretty solid, but if you look back at the season, the playoff run was really what solidified Walker as being that back. Before that, he was fairly interchangeable. Really hoping Kansas City overpaid a little bit there. But yeah, no, I mean, great back. But Rick, we will send you that over. I did mean to get those to you when you asked for them the other night, but we will get those over to you so that way you have a way to get hold of us, and we will definitely collaborate. I think Seattle's in a pretty good position. I don't know that they're going to be the team they were last year, but we'll see when that unfolds. I know the early predictions right now are on the LA Rams as being like kind of the number one team overall. Seattle has been pretty consistently in the top 4 for what I've seen. So it'll be exciting to watch. Yeah, we do have, well, I had a vertical podcast going, but it didn't start tonight. We have done that the last few nights or the last few shows. We've had one going, and it did seem to get a lot more traction on YouTube in particular. I want to talk, John, about Paul thinks wild card for the Seahawks.
Could be.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked if they won the division again, though. I mean, they get a decent running back in there. The defense is still up. Like I said, doesn't matter who you put in there. They're still going to be great. But the Rams have big names. They're a very flashy team. So it's hard to pick against the Rams, but I wouldn't be shocked if Seattle won that division again. It's definitely, I think, going to be between those two.
I tell you what, also you can't quite count out the Niners.
Foosball.
The Niners are going to be a really good team, barring they get a new practice facility, move away from that plant they're next to, so they'll stop having injuries. But they've made a lot of moves this season, and a couple players have taken sweetheart deals just to
Yeah.
go there and play. So,
Mhm.
um,
Purdy is a good quarterback. Don't get me wrong. I'm just not sold on Purdy. I think if they had somebody a little better, I think it would have been a done deal already. I think they would have already gotten a ring the past couple years or so.
I agree. As good a numbers as Purdy can put up, I think that's always going to be the speculation around him, as there could have been someone better until he wins the ring. And even when he wins the ring, so many people are going to look at it and be like, well, if he didn't have, the three defensive players, or if he didn't have so many weapons around him,
Mm-hmm.
would he have done it? And kind of sad for him, but that's probably going to be the case.
Oh man, that's pretty much the story for Darnold. I'm sure everybody's going to say that about Darnold too, if they aren't already.
Oh yeah, no, I will always say that about Sam Darnold. No matter how good he does, I will tell you that it is someone else on the team making a difference. So speaking of other people on the teams making a difference, for all the praise the New York Giants have had this offseason, huge coach splash, some great signings during free agency. They might have an issue at running back, and it's not necessarily because the running back's health, but maybe, just maybe, the IQ of the running back, or the knowledge of when he should be or should not be talking about something and how that will be received. But Cam Scatabo he was on with a Bring the Juice podcast with Frank Delina. Now, I've never listened to this podcast, but they're exchanging verbs back and forth. And Frank asked him, do you think CTE is a real thing? Cam responds with, no, it's an excuse. Frank says, I think asthma is an excuse too. And then Cam just kind of falls in line and says, you know what? That's a good take. Asthma's fake. You are soft. Just go out there and breathe air.
Yeah, that's a young rookie mistake.
Oh man.
See, when you're young, you don't realize it's not just about what you do on the field or behind the podium. Your eyes are on you everywhere. Everything you do, everything you say is going to get blown up and blown out of proportion too. So, that Scatabo, that was a bad choice. Your face is everywhere right now. You're in the WWE, you're everywhere you go. People are looking at you. You can't say stuff like that, dude. Like, half of the people who have CTE are like veterans. You know what I mean? People who fire guns a lot or around stuff like that. You're pretty much dissing half the veterans out there, or even your own colleagues, like people who've played football for years, Tua probably felt some kind of way about that.
Then he forgot about it 10 minutes later.
We can say that because we're not as big as Scatabo.
That is correct. And we're here for color commentary. So we're supposed to have opinions like this. It's funny. And I get it's not like people haven't thought CTE was not real in the past.
Yeah.
I'm not a big believer in going to have a bunch of scans and things, but it's very clear when you have these scans that something gets jacked up when you get too hard in your head. When I was young, guess what? We didn't have to wear helmets when we were riding bikes. We went 90 miles per hour down an asphalt hill, right into the trees, slam into one, get up, shake it off. But then we had kids. I don't know what kind of parenting that did for us, but now kids need to be in helmets because there's a lot of brain damage they just can't take at this point.
I'll tell you a story. I'm going to make my dad famous here. So my dad, I was already a teenager. So my dad, was a little older. He wasn't like a young pup anymore. Neighbor boy up the road got a new bike. And he's like, I bet you can't even ride this bike anymore. My dad was like, I bet I can. So he gets on this bike and takes off down the pavement, like the street, You know how they started making the handlebars to where they, if you don't tighten them down, the handlebars just went forward. And face right into the pavement, going full speed. He couldn't get up for a minute. Like, he had to go sit down somewhere for a long time. He couldn't even leave their house. He had to go sit on their porch because he was so rocked. You know what I mean? Like, It's real. Back in the day, y'all.
Oh, that's fantastic. I could go on and on about various bike injuries me and my friends had just being out in the country, on some 20-inch bikes. You know what really
Hey.
shocked me about this
What?
was the asthma part. I think because
Yeah.
normally when they talk about this, I'm sure I've had concussions in my life, but I don't really recall ever having like anything so serious that altered my life. But when somebody takes a shot at something you do have, I am an asthmatic. I've been an asthmatic for my entire life. A lot of my childhood was spent indoors while, kids are out playing in the spring and summer. And I have to kind of like look through the window and be real sad. I played a lot of Nintendo. Don't worry. I had fun playing video games all the damn time.
Did you try breathing air?
I didn't think about that. I mean, God, if Cam Scatabo would have been alive in the 80s, so I would have known just to go outside and oh my, look at that.
Who knew it was in my head the whole time?
Right. No, look how much better I feel. Can't believe I forgot how to breathe. Thanks, Cam Scatabo.
No. I know before we kind of leave this general vicinity of where we're at right now, there has been some more recent news pop up. We were on the Rams just a minute ago. Breaking news. Rams star wide receiver Puka Nacua is being accused of making an anti-Semitic comment and biting a girl in Los Angeles during December 2025 incident. The alleged victim claims Puka said F all the Jews during a dinner together and later bit her left shoulder, breaking the skin. The woman says the remark was just the first act in what became an escalating course of rude or vulgar, threatening, violent, and harassing conduct by Nacua. The woman included a photo of her alleged injury and a temporary restraining order.
You know what the funny part is? This isn't a surprise. It's not like this is the first time he's been in trouble for maybe not biting, but he's been like, wasn't it known last year? Like he made anti-Semitic remarks before. Mm-hmm. So shame on you, dude.
Yep. You got to get together. You guys are in the spotlight now. Again, another young guy. He's only been in the league a couple of years. All eyes are on you, man. You ain't going to get away with nothing.
I mean, what if it was not Matt Stafford? It was Matt Stafford-Steen. What are you going to do then? You think, how many targets are you going to get?
Exactly.
Stafford-Steen ain't going to throw you anything.
He's going to go from Puka Nacua to Puka Nahua?
Yeah. Hey, he'll be here all week, folks. That's crazy. That's crazy. Do you think the NFL should do anything?
I mean, the NFL always waits and sees what happens, how it plays out. Because if he gets punished, in a court of law, then I'm sure they're going to be obligated to do something or say something, release a statement, something, but I don't know. I guess right now it's just all, her word against his right now. But I guess we'll see how it
it'd be pretty evident. I mean, she's got a bite mark.
Just match the teeth up. If it's his teeth.
Yeah. Bring him back in, let him chomp on her shoulder again and be like, oh yeah, it's a perfect match. I mean, how much time would you, I'm sure that would be assault, but you probably wouldn't go to jail for that.
No, you wouldn't go to jail. Probably like fine, you'd have something on your record permanently. And
should the NFL
could go to
like
jail.
Anti-Semitic remarks? I mean, is that, I don't know.
Well, the way I look at it is if you're an NFL player, you're pretty much an ambassador of the NFL. So things that you do like that reflects poorly on the NFL. So I'd say it's well within their right to discipline them.
And
I'm sure that's in some type of contract. Yeah, and their team. Actually, that's a thing. I think you can only be punished by one or the other. That's why a lot of teams go ahead quickly and react and punish their players, dole the punishment they want to give before the NFL does. Because I don't think you can get double punishments.
Mm. So no double jeopardy in the NFL. However, Rams, you better get ahead of that. Go ahead and throw out a suspension for a preseason game or two.
And what punishments are official? Can somebody on the Rams just bite Puka Nacua and be like a bite for a bite?
Yeah. We're an Old Testament team. we believe in an eye for an eye. In all fairness, we got the guy on the team with the biggest teeth. So this is probably a little worse on him.
Somebody can call him Hawaiian, but in a mean way.
Right. So did I hear this right, John? Alvin Kamara actually got traded?
Let me double check here. I know
was it reported he was traded to the Bucks?
Hold on, I'm looking.
I did see this
saw anything
19 hours ago, and it was reportedly Adam Schefter, but I don't think I've seen anything else.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything official on it. I know, obviously, he was going to be traded or released or something like that, but I don't think I've seen anything officially, him being on another team yet. But that may be something that pops up officially here in the next couple days or so.
So that being said, where do you think? Because I mean, it's obvious. I think the Saints are going to deal him. Yeah. He's one of a handful of players they're at least worth covering if a trade goes through. Where would you see a good fit for the Saints to get rid of Alvin Kamara?
I don't think there's any real ideal fit for him. I don't think he's starting on any team at this point. He was great in his prime, but he's just not there anymore. He's looking to go somewhere as a second, third string running back at this point. I mean, I don't want to disrespect the man. He might just end up retiring. I don't know. But at this point, I just don't foresee him going and getting quality reps for any team. I don't think anybody's that desperate, especially with the draft coming up. If anything, maybe after the draft, people can step back and kind of reflect how their offseason's gone and what they need. And I still don't think he goes as a starting running back anywhere.
Yeah, I agree as far as he will definitely not start. But he could give a good, veteran. I think Tampa Bay actually made a little sense. They're always three running back deep. They like to run three down there. So that he would be in a good spot where he could split a lot of time with one or two other backs.
Yeah.
Did you catch any of the Fanatics Team USA flag football game over the weekend, John?
I did not watch the game itself, but I've seen clips. I have seen clips. I also seen Tom Brady getting into it with was it Logan Paul or Jake Paul? Logan Paul.
Logan Paul.
That was
what's beautiful about that? I like to see it. But the best part is watching everybody else see it, but then me having just a little inside baseball where most people are not thinking about. And the fact that you got international YouTube superstar Logan Paul, who is actually a full-time WWE competitor now. Most people don't realize that he signed that contract, so that's his full-time gig. That's why he's not allowed to box over in Dubai versus whoever he was going to, is because WWE won't allow it. WrestleMania is going to be in Vegas this year again. Tom Brady just happens to be in Vegas. There's a really good shot that Tom Brady is going to team up with somebody like LA Knight to take on Logan Paul and Austin Theory because they are a tag team in the WWE. And I like seeing this go because the media blows it all out of proportion because they're like, oh, YouTube star Logan Paul disrespects and all this stuff. But that's what he does for a living. But I'm super excited because Tom Brady plays right into this. Of course, they're working on the deal to kind of finalize his appearance there. But I thought the flag football game was a lot of fun. And I like the fact that Tom Brady got out there, threw a few passes.
Some of them guys had some moves too. You get to see a little. I know it's going to sound weird, non-tackle football, but you do get to see a little more athleticism. Like in a game, you know you're going to get tackled, so you can't be like real slimy with your moves. You got to brace yourself and take the hit. I've seen some guys like doing weird stuff while running full speed to avoid getting their flags pulled, and I'm like, dang, I would like to see a move like that in the NFL. You know, that would be crazy. But yeah, it was pretty cool.
I tell you who did not enjoy seeing moves like that, and that is every single Cincinnati Bengal fan, because Joe Burrow was out there like he was in the Super Bowl trying to make the game-winning drive, 360 spins, falling on his back, rolling over. I really wish Colin was here for this, because I would have liked to got his perspective on, how many nails he was chewing at the time of watching the videos. I thought it looked like a lot of fun. Burrow was obviously having a lot of fun. Burrow came out and did state that he would like to potentially play for an Olympic gold medal. Flag football is going to be a thing in the Olympics. I guess it might start with the LA Olympics is going to be the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you think about NFL players potentially playing flag football for America in the Olympics?
Now, I know this is a thing in basketball, but in the NFL, I don't know, man. Like, so first of all, you can shoot yourself in the foot both ways. What if your player's out there playing flag football and gets hurt, and then all of a sudden he's not available for you during the season when it comes up? Or vice versa. Your player's committed to, be in the Olympics, and then he breaks his arm in the NFL season, like, I don't know. Things happen, even in non-contact or really physical contact sports. Accidents happen. You're still an athlete. You're still out there performing. I'm curious to see how teams will respond to it. If some teams will be like, "Nah, I don't want you doing that," or if some teams are like, "Yeah, cool, that's fine."
All right, so let's ask Rick and Paul, who are in the chat, what do you all think about the players, NFL players playing the Olympics? How does it parallel basketball? Are there any more dangers? What are your all's thoughts on that? While we wait on that, I'm a little indifferent. I like the idea of the NFL guys getting a chance to do something that gives them a gold medal, because I'm sure they've looked at the NBA players, and if you're a pro athlete, winning a gold medal at the Olympics has probably been on your mind at some point in your career. Is like, oh, wouldn't that be really cool? And I hate that a lot of football players have missed out on it or probably will miss out on it.
Mm-hmm.
However, from a team standpoint, basketball is slightly different. It just feels different with football. I would be far more scared as an owner to let my quarterback, receiver, tight end, offensive lineman, defensive back, cornerback. I would be far more scared to let them go out there and throw away. I don't know what it just seems like. It's more money.
Risky.
It just seems like it's more risk.
Mm-hmm. But you got to think too, hockey players do it. You know what I mean? Like, there's USA hockey teams, and that's a violent sport. You know what I mean? Like, people out there punching each other in the face. Like, I don't know, but I don't know. I can imagine, the way the NFL is going, branching out into these other countries, I'd say it's just a matter of time before these other countries have their own teams, maybe, or they try to do that. And then pretty soon, I think full-on NFL or American football will possibly be an Olympic sport. So you may have like Team USA for basketball and hockey, but NFL style. You know what I mean? Where you got Lamar, Mahomes, and Allen or Burrow or whoever, all on the team, and they switch them out, or and all these superstars all on Team USA. That'd be interesting.
It would be cool because it's every every 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
It would be really cool every 4 years if all the quarterbacks in the NFL were trying to be the starting quarterback for Team USA.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't Peyton, Tom Brady? I mean, wouldn't it have been really cool for them to kind of competing for the starting job to represent the United States? I mean,
You got to throw Breeze in there too.
yeah, we can shoot the breeze a little bit, but thinking about it from that aspect, it's one thing I think because you mentioned is flag football. So I think from an NFL fan's standpoint, most of the time you hear flag football, you automatically deduct, 5 or 6 confidence points from it. But it might be really interesting if you had that kind of competition.
Yeah.
You only got 3 running backs that would be able to play out of 32 teams. You got, a little over 64 running backs that would be eligible. It'd be really cool to see what kind of competition or how that would shake out as far as who gets to make it.
And it's different too, because the things that make running backs great in the NFL are going to be different than what makes you great in flag football, because you're looking for agility and speed in flag football. Derrick Henry wouldn't be good because his main thing is he's going to truck people. You ain't trucking people in flag football. You know what I mean?
Right.
You ain't giving people the stiff arm and putting them down, so it'll be interesting to see that dynamic. So just because you're the best running back in the NFL doesn't necessarily mean that's going to translate.
So let's ask this impromptu question here on this topic. If you were to field one quarterback, one running back, and one wide receiver to play on USA's flag football team, those were the only 3 being filled by professionals, who would you put at those 3 spots to represent the United States?
Quarterback, I mean, people may hate on it or have their opinion, but Lamar Jackson is the easiest answer for quarterback. Not only can he throw the ball, but he's elusive. And that's what you want in flag football. Running back, I would probably go for a CMC or Bijan. Players who can also catch the ball really well instead of just running, but there's also fast and elusive, Probably Bijan, honestly. I'm not a huge Bijan fan, but fantasy football wise, his talents, I think, would come into play more. And then, you can go multiple ways with wide receiver. I'm going to throw 3 out there. My pick would probably be like a Jamar Chase, but Jetta or JSN would be great in that too. You want a big body, fast, elusive wide receiver.
I would say I would definitely agree with you. I think Jamar Chase, if I was to pick anyone right now, I would have to say that's going to be the wide receiver. Travis Etienne.
Yeah.
Give me him as a running back in flag football. I think he would do all right.
He would do good.
Quarterback, I like the pick of Lamar. I would like the pick of Josh Allen. However, I think they're bigger bodies. Bigger bodies in flag football don't, always work. One of their 2 big strengths are they can take a hit and still remain up. So you kind of want that elusive presence. And give me Bo. One of the least sacked quarterbacks in the NFL. He might be one of the more elusive all the way around. Maybe flag football is where he needs to be.
You're Bo leaving.
I am Bo leaving. And
honestly, flag football might be somewhere like a Justin Fields would thrive. You know what I mean?
That's a good pick.
Yeah.
There you go, Justin. Team USA. They need
There you go.
Team USA actually does have a quarterback for their flag football team, and his name, and I'm going to probably butcher this. I get the first part right. Daryl. Got that one down. The Ducetti is what I'm assuming you pronounce his last name, and I'm pretty sure I'm right. And he's the Team USA flag football champion, and he says, hey, I could win a Super Bowl right now. After going undefeated versus Joe Burrow and the likes of Tom Brady in a flag football classic, now's the time for him to shine. I think it's kind of funny the flag football guys are being like, no, don't step on our turf. This is what we do. You all do what you do.
Well, yeah. I would have a couple questions for him. First of all, those flag football fields are very short. You can easily throw from one end zone to the other. I watched it happen multiple times in clips. But also, how many times have you been sacked by Myles Garrett? You know what I mean? Your confidence level is going to change after that happens a couple times. I guarantee it.
Right. He also said, he says, I think it's disrespectful that they just automatically assume that they are able to just join the Olympic team because of the person that they are. They didn't help grow this game and get it to the Olympics.
That's fair. But at the same time, I wouldn't say it's just because of who they are. The reason they are who they are is because of the years of hard work and being ranked as the best, most accurate, most elusive players in the country. You know what I mean? Like, you don't just become an NFL quarterback just because your daddy's rich or you know a guy. You know what I mean? Like, these people have put in the work and they're athletes, professional athletes. So I don't know. I mean, I get where he's coming from, though. You know, it is different.
You know, I would like to see, like, you know, the Olympic team in basketball. It was NBA stars for a while, and then it kind of went away from the NBA stars and went to a lot more college players. You know, coming out of college or being in their last year and getting to play in the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be cool if you had at least, you know, what about some of the college football players? It'd be pretty cool if someone like Mendoza got to be the quarterback for Team USA, you know, come in and showcase a few more abilities, especially something like flag football, because there is a level of safety to it. Tua.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Tua's the perfect flag football quarterback. Why didn't we think about that?
He slips and hits his head. No matter what. Like a fan throws a slushy down and hits him in the head. He's like, ah. Yeah.
You know, I'd change it. Bo Nix isn't my flag football quarterback. It's Tua. That's probably the best flag football quarterback out there.
Oh my gosh.
But no, seeing the college players get a chance, you know, that would be really cool because a lot of those guys aren't going to go to the NFL. Playing on an Olympic team would be probably a big deal for a lot of them.
Yeah, I'm sure it would be. That would be interesting. But, you know, like, I think it's interesting, too, when you look at the NBA. I think a lot of people would naturally assume that because of players in the NFL or in the NBA, they're going to play for Team USA. That's not the case. Mm-hmm. Teams go to their home country, like players go to their home country to play for those teams. Like, shoot, I can't think of it. Gilchrist Alexander. He played for Kentucky. He's in the NBA in America or whatever, but like, which there is like Toronto, you know, and stuff. But he goes to Canada because that's where he's from to play on Team Canada in the Olympics. He hadn't played for Team USA. Same with other players, you know, and that could be the same for the NFL. So just because you have superstars in the NFL doesn't mean they're playing for Team USA.
Right. Puka Kanua is playing for Israel.
Not only did you butcher his name, but you got he is in the USA.
If anyone deserved me to butcher their name,
yeah, I guess
it's him right now. You know, Manu Ginobili was one of those guys. I'm a huge Tony Parker. Actually, that entire Spurs franchise, for the most part of the early 2000s, they were all playing on every other team but the United States. Argentina was a big threat. France was a big threat with Tony Parker at point guard. So yeah, you're right. Football has become far more international. A lot of wide receivers that would get to play with other countries. Colin's not also here for this one, but Joe Flacco signed a 1 year deal for $6 million. $6 million. What do you think about Flacco back in Cincinnati?
I still think it's sad he didn't go to the Steelers. I wanted him to be on every team in the AFC North. That would have been fun. But I mean, you've got to have somebody you trust as backup quarterback. You know, I made a joke with one of my buddies. Well, there's Joe Burrow's replacement. But, you know, I mean, he does get injured a lot. And you got to have somebody who can step in and run that offense. And I think they found a level of comfort with Joe last season. So they probably just want to keep building that continuity. I don't think it's a bad move.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great spot. If you know, Burrow goes down, you've got a more than capable quarterback that can at least be serviceable. Any other news or transactions that we've had that's
huge? Travis Kelce
Mm.
signed to a, what is this, 3-year, $54.7 million deal. What are the Chiefs thinking? What's Travis thinking? He ain't going to hold up for 3 more years, not at the level that we expect Travis Kelce to play at. Like, I know he's reliable for Mahomes. I know he's a smart player. But this has been his gameplay over the past, 3 seasons. What do you think is going to be in 3 more seasons? Like, there's no way he's finishing that contract out. I just don't believe it. For the past 3 years, he's been debating retirement. Why would he sign a 3-year deal? Why would the Chiefs give him a 3-year deal? I mean, I was expecting a 1-year deal for less than that. But I don't know how this is going to play out. I was surprised to see that, to be honest.
I was definitely shocked over the length of the contract, especially. What I would hate to see is that he stays there another year, and then this time next year, we're talking about, do the Chiefs deal Kelce to another team? And then, Travis is forced to, finish his career in Carolina or, Tampa Bay or Indianapolis or somewhere that it just doesn't feel right. But it happens to guys all the time that sign
Denver.
That won't happen. There's 2 things I can be pretty confident about in life, and that is Max Crosby was never going to put on orange and blue, no matter what. The other would be Travis Kelce will never be in our uniform.
Mm-hmm.
However, I think we were pretty close to Keenan Allen.
Yeah.
I don't think it was off the radar of him being on next year's Broncos team. That's gone now, but that's something I don't know that I would ever have said. But yeah, I don't know if I could handle Travis Kelce being on the Broncos. Maybe he'll go to the Jets. That would be great.
I mean, you wouldn't want to see Taylor Swift every time you watch the Broncos play?
Oh, no, absolutely not.
Let's see. There was some things here recently. I thought this was interesting. The Falcons signed Brian Robinson Jr. So now they got 2 Robinsons. They got Bijan Robinson and Brian Robinson. And they're both at the same position. I'm curious to see how that's going to go.
You know how that's going to be? Mr. Robinson's neighborhood. And that is going to be what Atlanta is all about next year.
The Robinsons. The Eagles signed Elijah Moore. Levante David announces retirement from the Bucks. Seahawks signed Jake Bobo. I'm trying to just find some big stuff that has happened. Oh, did you hear about Winfield Jr.'s fiance?
No.
Winfield is the safety for the Bucks, I'm pretty sure. He's one of the better safeties in the league, but apparently his fiance, let's see what it says here. Saturday's Fanatics Flag Football Classic after rushing to So she emerged as an unexpected hero on the way to the flag football thing. She rushed to an aid of a pedestrian struck by a car in front of the friends and family's bus heading to the game. But people are saying she's a hero now. She stayed with her and kept her comfortable, and even rode in the ambulance with her to the hospital because she had nobody there. Props. You got people out here biting people, and then, Whitfield's family's out here saving lives.
Right.
Yeah, the Jaguars, DJ Chark, who hasn't even been in the league that long, he retired. There was something interesting that I saw, and I'm not sure why. I don't even think I really agree with it, even though it's kind of cool. But the 2026 highest win totals provided by DraftKings Sportsbook has the Ravens as the number 1 highest projected win total for their ceiling at 11.5 wins. Below them are the Bills, the Chiefs, Chargers, Lions, Rams, Packers, Eagles, Seahawks, and Niners all at 10.5. But I thought that was an interesting prediction. There is, and I'm going to have to read this because I don't have this memorized, but notable playing rules and resolution proposals for the NFL. The first thing is to permit the kicking team to declare an onside kick at any time during the game. So this past season, you had to be like down so much, and it had to be like within the last however many minutes or last quarter. I can't remember the rules exactly, but this would permit it any time during the game as long as you announce the onside kick before doing it. The second is to allow league personnel to consult with on-field officials when considering disqualifications for both flagrant football acts and non-football acts without being called on the field, which I don't know how that's going to work out. I don't know. The third is to allow draft selections to be traded up to 5 seasons in the future. This was proposed by Cleveland. I saw that pop up a few days ago. So now I think you can only trade like 3 seasons in advance. So say we'll just use Max Crosby. The Ravens say, okay, we're going to trade you 3 first-round picks for Max Crosby this year's, next year's, and the years after, But
Right.
This proposal, you could do that 5 years in advance instead of 3.
I don't know. That's just you're going in too much debt.
And you don't know, 5 years is a long time. You don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
What happens if 4 of your star players get injured and have to retire from football, and you just traded away 5 years worth of first round picks? You know what I mean? Like that's going to be a hard, but it would make it interesting because teams would get screwed for years, like years.
Yeah. That's the problem. I think that would cost the NFL too much money.
But
because you would have markets that would just like the Jets. The Jets and the Browns. No, it's already miserable.
That's what I'm saying. That's why the Browns suggested it, because teams like the Jets and the Browns, who have been screwed for years anyways, they're like, what's it matter for us? We might be screwing other teams. You know what I mean? By doing that. Because their franchises are just garbage every year.
Just bring everybody down to our level.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh, I don't know. I would just hate to leverage. It's like going into a car loan on 84 months. Yeah, the payment's a little more affordable, but shit, you just shouldn't do it.
So, it has come out officially now that Baltimore flagged Crosby for degenerative issues, not just the injury that everybody knew about. This is a fun one. I kind of wish Colin was here for this. Former Steelers outside linebacker James Harrison says he's been talking to Joe Burrow and trying to recruit him to Pittsburgh.
That would be so awesome. I don't like Pittsburgh, but man, if they got Burrow, I would enjoy watching Pittsburgh play Cincinnati.
I would actually hate that, because if there's going to be a superstar quarterback like Burrow on a team in my division that's not the Ravens, I would rather it be an organization that I feel like's not very well run, like the Browns or the Bengals, versus a really good organization like the Steelers. Because the Steelers would use him correctly. They would build a full team around him, not just half a team.
John,
and he would probably win a Super Bowl.
Let me ask you this. Speaking of Steelers versus the Ravens, did you see, I think it was Sports Illustrated, but don't quote me on that, the top 10 rivalries in professional sports? Of course, the Yankees and Red Sox were number 1. Mm-hmm. However, number 8 was the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, I can see that, because those two teams are two of the gritty teams known in the NFL. Those are two teams that I can't think of a rivalry that people would expect to see carnage in more than Baltimore versus the Steelers. Like, when you go into that game, you're trying to kill each other. I mean, granted, it's gotten a little lighter the past decade because, you know, the rule changes in the NFL. But back in the day of Ray Lewis and James Harrison, who we were just talking about, like, they were killing each other out there. I mean, taking people's heads off every play, you know, and it didn't matter if you had the ball or not, you were getting trucked, you know, like it. That was fun. I do miss that, but it's still vicious today, even, you know, it's just something about that rivalry. They hate each other on the field, at least.
Right. You know, I was a little shocked. But now this only coming from, I remember before the Baltimore Ravens. So that, I think that's more why it came as a shock to me, because I still look at the Ravens as one of the newer NFL teams.
Yeah.
When they've been around for plenty of time. I would have thought like Green Bay and Chicago.
Yeah.
If there was like one NFL rivalry I was looking at, the Raiders and the Broncos, you know, have been going on since the 60s. But really, Green Bay and Chicago is the first one that pops in my mind. But I was very shocked for Pittsburgh and Baltimore.
I think the reason that you don't get as much respect for that rivalry of Green Bay and Chicago is because for quite some time now, one team has just dominated the other for the most part. Now, the Bears are getting more competitive here the last handful of years. They've had years sprinkled in where they've been more competitive, but as a whole, Green Bay over the past probably couple decades have dominated, you know, the Bears. Aaron Rodgers said it himself, you know, he owns the Bears, you know, that discount double check he hits them with.
True. So that wanted me to bring up this. Now, this is from givemesports.com, and this is just strictly going on the NFL. And we're going to do these top 10. We're going to touch on them a little briefly, and then we're going to sign off for the evening. But they have number 10, the Broncos versus the Las Vegas Raiders. All-time series, 73-54-2 to the Raiders.
Really, the Raiders are winning that.
Yeah, they had a very long streak where we didn't win a lot of games in the AFC West after Peyton, and then there was a stretch, you know, before that and after Elway that they really went up by a lot. There was also like a 17-game winning streak that they had that just blew us out of the water. Let's see. Cleveland Browns versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Coming in at number 9. All-time series is 81-63-1 going to the Steelers.
Yeah.
Number 8. The New England Pats versus the JTSS Jets. 74-55-1 for the Patriots.
Some of those are closer than I expect. Like, I didn't expect the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cleveland Browns to be as close, and same with the Jets and the Patriots. You have, like, two organizations who are very, like, highly thought of, and not just recent. I mean, like, whole career. And then you got two teams that are just, like, bottom of the barrel. But
right. I think the good thing for the Browns was the 80s. So you had a little more winning going on in the 80s. Number 7, again, Pittsburgh with their second ranking on this. And that's the Bengals versus Pittsburgh. 70-39, no ties, Steelers. This is a little more lopsided.
Yeah, that's the way lopsided. I don't even know how that's one of the higher ones.
All right, number 6. I like this one a lot. When I think of Thanksgiving football, this would be a matchup. It tends to pop into my mind a little more, but we got the Cowboys versus Washington. And we got that 78-48-2 to Dallas.
Okay.
New York Giants versus the Philadelphia Eagles. This one's pretty damn close. 94-89-2.
Yeah.
You know, that's within 5 games of separation there, 2 of them being tied. That's That's
Yeah.
pretty. I think that's the closest so far.
Oh yeah.
Number 4, I don't know that I agree with this one, nor should it be this high. Dallas Cowboys versus the 49ers, 20, 19, and 1.
See, I think that's more past history. I don't think that is more of a recent thing. I think back in the day when you had like oh my gosh, Troy Aikman, and then you had on the Niners what's his name?
Steve
Joe
Young.
Montana. Steve Young, Joe Montana, whatever. You know, those that range, I think they were probably a lot more competitive. Those were probably two of the bigger teams back in that day.
And we would like to remind our viewers that when John says back in the day, he is referring to the early 90s.
I was a wee little boy back in the early 90s.
Yeah, the rest of us were grown up working full-time jobs. Number 3, all time. Baltimore Ravens, Pittsburgh Steelers, all-time series at the publishing of this article was 35-25 Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Yep.
So now I would like to go on record. The other thing I looked at that was on Sports Illustrated, that was the highest football. So these other two are probably up in the air, but they got Dallas Cowboys versus the Eagles, 73-56 Cowboys. I think that might come from a lot of the 90s as well. Donovan McNabb and then Troy Aikman and things like that. Number 1, Chicago Bears, Green Bay Packers, all-time series, 107, 95, and 6. And they do not have who it is listed out beside them. I would venture to say that it's Green Bay.
Yeah, I would assume.
That probably
I mean, 80s maybe not. I don't know. Like you got the 85 Bears. You know they historic defense there. So I don't know. I didn't think it was that close.
As Aaron Rodgers had been around, that he was probably the difference maker in that.
I mean, even Brett Favre. I don't think they had anybody amazing back when Brett Favre played for the Chicago. You know, I think Jay Cutler was probably their best quarterback they'd had in a while.
For Chicago, yeah. Most of that probably in the 80s. Green Bay was probably not as relevant back then as they were in the 90s, moving into 2000s. So I would say Favre and Rodgers are a huge part of why Green Bay was leading that. Because I bet you in the 80s it was reversed.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You know, when Ditka was around.
Yep.
All right. Well, I think that brings us to the end for tonight. So make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Tune in next week, Tuesday, at around 9 o'clock, 9:30, somewhere in that general time frame. Me, John, and hopefully Colin will be back with you to set the table so you can stay football hungry
and get some.